In today's Catan match, I play a 3-player Harbor Master to 11 points, and funny enough, I actually didn't even realize there was a game called the Harbor Master. So I played the game, and when I got to the end, I didn't realize the game was to 11 points. I also learned later on that in the Harbor Master you get an extra victory point for a city on the coast. So let's see how that affects this game. Purple is first and decides, because it is the Harbor Master game, they're going to go ahead and build on a harbor, which in a typical Catan game would never be my suggested starting point. So I'm playing the game kind of normal, looking for a good combo to get ore, wheat, and sheep, especially on this board where the best brick was taken, and there's really no good combination that's going to allow me to get wheat and sheep and ore while also getting brick and wood. So what I just decided to do was to go ahead and take the top corner and start off with my free brick by taking it second, and then hoping that a few 10s and 11s roll occasionally to allow me to just do enough expansion. But my plan is to ultimately just buy development cards, control the night, maybe get lucky with a year of plenty or road building, and just expand like that and just do a typical development card strategy. So purple takes the wood second and is really reliant on this expansion to get to his 9 sheep. And as we start out, bricks are always important. 7 gets rolled. And I take a look at my knight. So where are they going to place it? And this is the funny part about when you are playing a well-rounded game and you have strong brick and strong wood, is that you often get targeted at the very beginning, especially by unseasoned Catan players, where stopping somebody from getting a city early on should be one of your main goals, rather than trying to steal brick and wood. Yes, that's important to steal brick and wood. It's especially important for the players who do not produce high brick and wood. For myself, I should be stealing from the other 2 players. I mean, I obviously am going to be looking to try and get brick, or specifically wood right now, because I have 2 bricks. But for the other 2 players, they of course need to see that I have the potential to really to not expand, but to city up pretty quickly. And stopping me from upgrading to a city should be a pretty big priority. So right now you can see in my hand a number of 9s have rolled, and if they're paying attention, they would realize that I have just 1 roll. A 5 could get me a city. I did lose cards right now, and I decided, because I'm only 1 roll away from a city, that I'm going to go ahead and try and go for that. Plus I had the backup plan of having my knight, just in case they did steal from me, which they did, and I got a wood, which I'm okay with. I did want my ore back and hope for a 5. I figured a early city when nobody else is getting knights yet is going to be pretty powerful. What also happened here in this early stage is that red decided to get a little bit greedy and is going to try and stop purple from building. So they built one extra road and decided to try and fight with purple. And so that was great for me because it means that these two are going to go back and forth. They're not going to pay attention to me early on. And because they're fighting against each other, then I can easily do some early growth without them fighting from me. However, I was surprised that dragon stole from me, even though they're fighting with red early on. I suspect he's looking for sheep, so he blocks my sheep and is hoping to steal sheep. Has not realized that it hasn't rolled yet. So I got my road. I go ahead and build up. Now, the reason I built up to the woodport is really not a great expansion to me, is I didn't really see any powerful port. I mean, the sheep port was okay, but what I valued more was getting that extra ore income. So it's really not that I'm trying to get the port up there. It's more that I'm going to get 2 ores whenever a 9 is rolled, because really all I see myself doing is buying development cards and sitting up on those 2 spots. And once I city up on those 2 spots, I feel like I'm going to be in an okay position, and I don't see how anyone will be able to contend. But it's a matter of getting there, and if they're able to defend me pretty heavily early on, then I won't be able to do it. I'm also reliant on a 5, which has not yet rolled. So I stole 1 wheat early on, and I'm just waiting to get my 5 to hit. I'm okay with my 6 being blocked for the time being, although I'd like to get a development card. So I am okay that purple got there. Yes, it gives him his much needed sheep, but he's kind of closed in down in this corner. And purple and red has a lot more space, so I'm actually okay with him getting that spot. 7 is rolled. The reason I'm just not trading or anything, because no one has wheat. I'm suspected to get the best wheat. And I'm almost at a point where I can trade 4 to 1. I don't really want to do that, but I'd rather just a 5 roll so I can finally build a city. Or 6, I can get a development card. And I have 7 cards on my side just to hold on. And then another 7 is rolled. Steals from red. Now this is where I figured they should have been paying attention to what I have in my hand. A lot of 9s have rolled. He should have tons of ore. Maybe he doesn't need ore. But what he should be paying attention to is that all I need is some extra wheat. And if I get some wheat, it's going to be city time, and they're going to have... They should definitely be trying to stop my city building early on. Weird numbers keep rolling. Just move on. No one's really able to do very much at all. 5 is actually, there you go. 5 is a big number for both red and myself. Red needs the bricks so that they can start moving. Let's see, so red should have a brick in hand, but they can't buy a development card. Just no 7. I finally get a 6. Another 4 is rolled, so it's more brick. I decided to buy my development card first, just in case it's something that could change the way. If it's a monopoly, it may potentially change the way I play, but most likely not. Pretty much all the time I'm building that city. So 11 comes is another good one for me. And I love getting Year of Plenty here. So Year of Plenty, my recommendation is to either use it to make a big move, defensive move to block somebody, or that's usually my number one goal is I usually try and block somebody's expansion or block them from doing some important move, whatever it is, if it's allowing them to have a really strong road building contention, or I'll just use it to do my most difficult thing to do, which in this game, building cities is not my most difficult thing, but building settlements is. So my suspicion is I'll just go ahead and use it to build my settlement, my expansion settlement up at the 912. So I got wheat again, brick goes out, purple had a really nice move. They were able to build 2 roads and then a settlement, and now they're in much stronger position, and I'm going to need to start blocking them. I decide to go ahead and see if anybody needs wheat, which I know they do need wheat, but do they have wood to trade, or even if they're willing to trade? So I'm contemplating, should I go ahead and use Year of Plenty at this point to build my settlement? And I figured, yes, I might as well, because it's going to give me my 3rd settlement, my port, which I'm not expecting I'm going to use that port very often. But it does give me my chance that every time a 9 rolls and then paired with a 5, that's another city. So I can upgrade my 6, 5, 11, and I'm sitting pretty good right now. Now I just really want to start buying development cards and blocking that 6 ore, because every time a 6 is rolled for Dragon, that's a free card. Not to mention he's looking to upgrade right now. Again, for some reason, I'm not seen as the target, and red blocks purple. Yes, purple's in a good position as well, but just a few rolls, I'm going to get another city. So I'm really surprised at that one. I was surprised that they blocked the 3. I guess they don't want him to build his city, or maybe they were scared of the fact that I had a development card and didn't want me to play a knight against them. Maybe, I'm not sure. I really expect it to be blocked there. So a 10 gives me my wood, which, because I don't have a lot of brick, I don't value that much. I'm going to go ahead and trade it in to get another development card. Hoping for some knights. There we go. I love road building too, especially because I don't produce a lot of roads. But I also need to start protecting and blocking that 6 down there. So 6 is rolled. Again, Dragon's getting a lot of ore. They have the ore port. But no wheat yet. They only have a 3 wheat. So in order to build his city, he's still got to trade in 2 ore for a wheat. Dragon's looking to trade 2 sheep for anything. Well, for one ore. And I'm not looking to help him. I do like the 2 sheep, but I'm not looking to help him get a city. So at this time, I say no thanks. I'm sorry, buddy. You're getting too powerful. Another 9 is rolled. It's more sheep for Dragon. Now he's over. I'm still under at 7. 12 is rolled. It actually is a good roll for me. I'd rather a 5, but a 7 is good. I can get a development card. And right now, I'm feeling a little more confident now that I have 2 Knight's backed up. I like that roll for dragon. He loses 4. I'm sure he's pissed. It's the downside of having to wait for your ores to come in to do 2 to 1. So he gets rid of his sheep and wood and 1 ore. So he probably is sitting there with 4 ore in hand. Takes from me, now he has 5 ore in hand. He could buy a development card if he wanted to, I suspect. But since he gave up his sheep, he's not trying to. And I'm going to start reblocking that 6. And they're going to be annoyed with me. Oh, a 3 is rolled. Exactly what dragon needs. I probably could have blocked the 3 there, but I think the 6 is still the thing I want to keep blocked as much as possible. Well, I was wrong. He didn't keep. He instead kept 2 sheep and 2 ore. No, because he just had sheep. So he decides to go ahead and buy 2 development cards, which is a good move for him, even though he really needs a city. Red is complaining, really needing a 10. She can't do anything. I'm going to go ahead and get another development card. I know nobody is trading wheat. I should be the only one with wheat. But guess what? 5 is just not coming. She's complaining about the 10. I'm about to write back and say, okay, there was 1 10 that rolled and 1 5 that rolled. It really is changing the game. He plays his knight, moves it on my 6. Not a bad block, but he really should be blocking my 5. Takes longest road, making himself a target. And this is, in my opinion, not a wise move. He should have been focusing at this early stage on getting that upgrade city first. I go ahead and steal from him, playing my knight. I get 2 more wood. Now this is an interesting hand here. I have the 2 to 1 port. I have wood. I could look to trade an ore and try and get a sheep potentially. But I decide with my numbers, I'm going to go ahead and hang on and see what comes. So there's my sheep. I could have built, because what I'm hoping to do right now is use my road building on the next turn and expand to a spot that really opens up the game for me. I'm eyeing either my expansion to the 11-6-3 sheep, which really ramps up my sheep production, or the 3-11-10, which will block red a little bit and also give me the opportunity to get more wheat, which I'm really struggling with wheat right now. I'm counting to see if I can just go ahead and take longest road by building through that middle and connecting my settlements. I decide to go ahead and build down to the 10 because I value the wheat most. And I still have a wood, have 2 woods, which again, I'm just going to trade them in and get a development card. I could have built another city, but I'm more concerned about blocking. Cities should come easily to me. With just a 5 and then a 9. So right now I'm just wanting to control. I didn't have a knight in hand. I wanted to make sure I controlled the knight position. 4 is rolled. Valkyller's got 1 more ore and a little bit of brick for a dragon. I really like my position right now. I got 2 knights in hand to defend, just in case I start to get blocked, which of course I should, considering I have 8 points. I'm far out ahead. I block my ore, and now I'm just going to reopen it up every time it comes to me. And at this point, I was eyeing and counting, and I thought that I was 2 away from victory, which I did not know that this game was 2-11. So we'll see what happens. Five is rolled. I love 5s. So now I just need. Do I decide to give wheat away? I decide not to even offer. I figured I'm too far ahead. They're not gonna trade with me. What does Dragon do? Is he deciding or pretending? What is he doing? For me, I like playing 3-player Catan. Usually when I don't have a whole lot of time to play 4-player, I like 4-player better. But 3-player Catan has some fun. There's so much space. You can, maneuver a little bit differently. And the downside is it's harder to hide if you get out in front, or you're going to get picked on a little bit because there's only 2 people to choose from rather than 3. So, 3 it has a different strategy. Ports are, in my opinion, a little less important because there's so much space on the island. You can typically expand enough and get yourself in a position where resources are flowing in. So, yeah, it's a different way to go about it. And usually the games are a little bit shorter. So in a regular Catan, if you're playing online, I would guess they average around 40 minutes to an hour. I guess depends on how much trading is going on. Whereas a game like this with 3 players, not a whole lot of trading and fairly quick players, it's going to be in the 25 to 30 minute range. So I'm thinking about, should I go ahead and continue to build in a manner that's going to allow me to potentially steal the longest road, or can I win on this turn? That's what I was counting, is can I get to the longest road and then win on this turn? Again, I didn't know that the game was to 11 and not 10. So that's what I'm figuring out right now. So as of the moment, he extends his road just a little bit. Another 9 is rolled, so I'm sitting here with a city in hand. Basically, I'm thinking to myself, okay, the game is over as long as I don't roll a 7. Let me just actually go ahead and write good game, because even if I roll a 7, I have enough that I can trade in. So I build my city and GG, game over. Wait, what? What's going on here? Why did I not win? So luckily the roll was 11 and it gave me 3 roads, which is hilarious because now I can steal longest road, and that gives me the game.